Just waiting for Mr. Turner to connect, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think we're all here. This Court of Common Pleas Civil Division is now declared open. The Honorable Ann M. Butchart presiding. This is a public hearings live stream via YouTube and can be accessed on the court's website. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
This is a status hearing in the matter of 41 Brown LLC petitioner versus LKM Holdings, the respondent. This is an Act 135 petition matter. Our docket is 2105-01901. The premises of our 4009-11 Parish Street, Philadelphia 19104. We were last in court on August 29th, and following that status hearing, we granted petitioners oral motion to terminate, we denied petitioners oral motion to terminate conditional relief. Respondent was directed to post bond in the amount of $2,400 with the Office of Judicial Records. And I'm not certain if Mr. Turner is connected.
I am connected, and I'm having a problem with my video that I'm not certain that I can resolve right now.
I think you're also having a little trouble with audio. You're barely audible, Mr. Turner.
Bear with me 1 second. Is that better? Can you hear me a little better now?
Not really.
Okay. Is that better? Can you hear me better now?
Marginally.
Okay. I'll do my best to speak up.
And Mr. Bogdan, I just admitted Lang Moss, but I don't see him on the screen. But he was in our waiting room.
Sorry for talking on mute. Something happened. I admitted him again.
Okay, thanks.
Hello?
Your Honor, I believe everyone is connected now.
All right. I'm going to ask everybody who's present in court today to please put their name on the record and indicate their relation to the case, and we'll begin with counsel.
Morning, Your Honor. Bart Benoff on behalf of 41 Brown LLC, the petitioner.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Turner for LKM Holdings.
Thank you. Mr. Moss, if you'll put your name on the record for us today.
That's Lang Moss, LKM Holding, responded.
Thank you very much. Mr. Turner, you don't have video capacity today?
I'm not sure what the issue is. I might log on, I might have to log off and back on again. For some reason, my integrated webcam is not showing as an option for my video.
Why don't you try logging off and returning?
I will. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Moss, I'll just advise you, Mr. Benoff's already aware of it, but we are going to be returning to in-person hearings in December. So starting in December, all hearings on our Act 135 matters are going to be conducted in courtroom 453 in City Hall, just so you know, okay? I think you're muted, sir. This was at the direction of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. We were advised that we could no longer conduct remote hearings on petition cases.
Okay.
It's about how I feel about it too. We've been doing so well with our remote hearings. I mean, it's been easier for everybody to participate, I think, and a lot less expensive.
It's just been a lot less travel, yes.
Yeah. On the other hand, everybody will look taller.
Oh,
There it is. Okay, and go, and why don't I see anything yet? There we are.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Turner.
Your patience, my sincere apologies this morning.
So as I said at the last hearing, we denied petitioner's oral motion to terminate conditional relief, and we directed respondent to post bond in the amount of $2,400 with the Office of Judicial Records. Mr. Turner, can you update and I will note for the record that present in today's hearing are Mr. Benoff, Mr. Turner, and Mr. Lang Moss, the respondent. Mr. Turner, could you update the court on conditional relief, please?
Certainly. I submitted some documents to the court on Monday, which consisted of permit screenshots from Eclipse showing the permit information and the status of the permit. Basically, for both 4009 and 4011, the respondent has worked with L&I to obtain the permits. Apparently the permit for 4009 was obtained this morning, and the corrected plans that were requested by the plans examiner for 4011 were provided to my client by the engineer, I believe yesterday or early this morning.
I'm wondering, Mr. Turner, if it might be wise, since this is what you want to convey to the court, that we have Mr. Moss sworn and he can advise the court.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Moss, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Lang Moss, Langmoss.
Mr. Turner?
Thank you. So, Mr. Moss, can you inform the court of the status of the building permit for 4009 Pear Street?
It was just issued this morning.
Okay, thank you. And see, I believe that Mr. Moss sent me a copy of that, which I could share with the court. I understand that it was issued this morning and we weren't able to provide it previously. And so that, but that permit was indeed issued. Also, and so Mr. Moss,
Do you want to put the permit number on the record and indicate exactly what the permit was for? I know we were waiting for permits for interior work, so if we could get a little bit more testimony, that would be helpful.
certainly. The permit number is CP 2022-005450. It is the approved scope of work, and I'm reading directly from the permit, is for the construction of a front enclosed porch addition to an existing semi-detached structure, include alterations throughout the structure for multifamily 3-unit household living. As for plans, no underpinning on this application. Separate permits are required for plumbing, mechanical, or electrical work. And that's the end of the that section of the permit. And if you like, I can share this, share my screen and show that to the court. And I can certainly email it to both opposing counsel and
I think if you could share your screen, that would be very helpful. And even though you have not provided it yet, we could give it an exhibit number.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sharing the correct screen. And we will mark this as exhibit number 79. And Mr. Moss, you're able to see this permit that's showing on the screen currently?
Yes.
And you recognize this document?
Yes.
And you would agree that it is the permit that I described, the commercial building permit 2022-005450 with the approved scope of work that I entered into the record previously?
Yes.
Thank you. And so I would like this permit number exhibit 79 to be entered into the record, Your Honor, if possible.
All right. Thank you. If you'll proceed with your other exhibits, and then we'll see if there are any questions
Certainly.
from petitioner.
Thank you. Let's pulling those up now. And so I believe I'm still sharing the screen. So you should see a document at the top that says Office of Judicial Records Receipt for Deposit. Are you able to see that, Mr. Moss?
Yes.
And do you recognize this document?
Yes, it's the receipt that I got from the city when I made the deposit.
Okay, and so this was what was the amount of the deposit?
$2,400.
Okay, and the purpose of this, and what was the reason that you put this deposit in with the city?
Court order.
And so as Mr. Moss has testified, Judge Butchart, you can see that this is the receipt for the $2,400 cash bond that you ordered the last hearing. And Mr. Moss put that in about a week ago.
Now we note the date is October 20th of 2022. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
is there an exhibit number?
Yes, this would be exhibit number 76 that was previously submitted.
Thank you.
And we're going to move on to this would be exhibit number 77. Oh, and actually, let's see. This exhibit, I believe, is moot because this is the same. This is the 4009. This exhibit I submitted to show the status of the permit for 4009, but that permit has now been issued. So we can disregard this one, I believe. We're going to move on to exhibit number 78. And Mr. Moss, do you recognize this page that's showing here?
It's correspondence from LNI regarding the permit.
Thank you.
Just disappeared off my screen.
I see. And so this are you able to read the text that's showing here? I'm gonna try and zoom in for you. And it looks like it might be cut off a little bit in the as you can see, it's part of the text is missing here, but the examiner is requesting that corrections be submitted for the plans that were submitted previously.
Perhaps your witness could testify as to the status of this.
Certainly. And Mr. Moss, can you tell me the status of this permit as it stands currently?
Yeah, I received the marked up plans from the examiner, the plan examiner. I forwarded them to Trevor Henry, the engineer for the project, and he responded yesterday. And I upload the documents to LNI on
You
Eclipse.
have uploaded. So you have uploaded those to LNI as of now?
Yes.
Thank you.
And which property is this for?
4011.
Thank you.
And so this we'd like marked as respondents exhibit 78 as previously provided.
Thank you.
Also, we submitted an additional exhibit. Mr. Moss, do you recognize this this page that's showing currently?
Yeah, I recall this, yes.
Okay. And can you tell the court what this page is that's showing?
That was for the zoning permit after the removal of the addition
I
in the
see.
back. And
See, so this is actually another moot exhibit. So because that zoning permit has already been issued. So Mr. Moss, can you explain to the court the just the status of any work that's been done since the last hearing?
only parts of the bricks inside the house. That was it.
And see, what's the reason for that?
Add stability to the structure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a reason why only some bricks have been added and no other work has been done on the properties since the last
I
hearing?
was waiting for the permit.
I understand. Thank you, Mr. Moss. I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. If you could take down your screen share.
Certainly.
Mr. Benoff, questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me, Your Honor. Mr. Moss, prior to today, there were only 3 permits that have been issued on the property since the filing of the Act 135 petition. Is that correct?
3 permits, the 2 zoning permits.
There were 2 zoning permits, and they were issued in March of 2022, one for each property. And then there was the commercial building permit, or the make safe permit, that was issued May 2nd of 2022. And that was for the demolition of the rear structure of the building. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And prior to today, no other permits had been issued, correct?
Just those 3.
Okay. And conditional relief was granted in March of 2022, correct?
I believe so, correct.
Since then, you had those 3 permits that were issued. And you also, at the last hearing, testified regarding a building permit application that was submitted August 24th, 2022. Is that correct?
I believe the date's correct. I believe so.
Okay. And I'm going to pull up so you can have it in front of us. And at the time, that was entered as respondent exhibit 73. So I'm just going to pull it up. Let's see, where is it? Here. Okay. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the document that you testified regarding at the last hearing on August 29th?
Did I testify as to what regarding this document? Did I submitted it?
Did you,
That's close.
was this introduced at the last hearing? Is it?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. Correspondence from L&I.
Okay. And this is regarding the building permit that you had initially filed for the property. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that building permit was denied and rejected, wasn't it?
Excuse me?
That building permit, and for the court record, I'll read in the permit application number, RP 2022-009446. That application was rejected and denied, wasn't it?
Trying to read it, trying to scroll through it. I can't scroll up and down. If it says it was rejected and some documents had to be resubmitted, then that's what it says. But I can't see, I can't move the document around to see if it's not scrolling up. Now it disappeared.
Actually, that document, or that application that you submitted, that was for the wrong type of permit, wasn't it?
I gotta scroll the document to see that. I submitted for a building permit.
You submitted for a
Oh,
residential,
that's what it says.
correct?
Oh, that's the one where the number of dwellings was wrong. The classification was wrong. Okay.
So
Okay.
that property is a 3-unit property, correct?
Correct.
And in Philadelphia, to get a permit on a 3-unit property, you do not file for a residential building permit, do you? You file for a commercial building permit. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, my secretary clicked the wrong button.
Okay, so
She checked the wrong box.
this application was rejected because it was basically the wrong permit, correct?
Wrong classification, yes. Classification. And everybody disappeared just now.
Okay, I'm going to scroll down on 73, and when you, I'm sorry, I won't. I apologize. I'm going to stop the screen share. 73. Now you testified that the commercial building permit was applied for and issued this morning, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, for 4009. For 4009, correct.
Okay. And I'm going to pull up on screen share exhibit 77. If I can get the screen share.
Is that the one that Mr. Turner indicated was moot?
Mr. Turner indicated it was moot because the permit had actually been issued this morning, Your Honor. That's what Mr. Turner indicated.
Okay.
Okay.
So we haven't actually seen Exhibit 77.
Okay.
I don't think he introduced it.
Okay, I'll introduce it now then, Your Honor. Mr. Moss, what's on the screen is Exhibit 77 was a document that was supplied by your counsel to my office and to the court for today's hearing. Do you recognize what is on the screen as Exhibit 77?
I'm looking at it.
And would you like me to scroll down? Just let me know because I don't want to do it too fast.
What do you want to ask me about it?
Do you recognize it?
I've seen it before. It's on my LNI page, so I've seen it before.
Okay, so this is this a screen capture from the Eclipse system in Philadelphia?
Yes,
Okay, and this shows the application for the commercial building permit that was issued. Is that correct?
correct.
And since I don't have a copy of the building permit, I believe the scope of work in the approved permit as read by your attorney is the same as is listed on R77. If you can look at the scope of work on R77, is that the same as the scope of work on the building permit that was issued? I think we may have lost Mr. Moss.
Scroll down document, disappears every time I try to pinch it.
Okay.
It disappears.
Well, I've scrolled down and on the screen, I don't know if you can see my cursor sort of circling it around here. You have approved scope of
I don't see your cursor.
for the construction of a front unenclosed porch addition to an existing semi-detached structure for multi-family 3-unit household living as per plans. Is that the same scope of work that's on the permit that was issued?
Yes.
Okay. When it says as for plans, what plans is it referring to?
The plans that we submitted to the court.
Okay. Now, in the past, you've submitted a few different sets of plans. That's why I'm confused. I want to make sure I know which plans you're referring to.
The building plans, not the zoning plans. That was already approved. The building plans.
Okay.
We got one set of building plans.
I'm going to close this out and call up, and I apologize, Your Honor, this was not submitted in advance. However, it was introduced at a prior hearing. I believe it was introduced as Respondent Exhibit A at the hearing on November 19, 2022.
Mr. Benoff, I'm going to ask you, because I'm just going to ask you what the point is that you're trying to establish. Thank you.
Oh, very good, Your Honor. Let me just, the point I'm trying to establish, Your Honor, is not so much a point, is that the plans, the permit that was issued is basically subject to the plans. And I'm just trying to make sure that the court and myself are aware, know which plans the permit references. I'm just trying to make sure that the information that I'm following is accurate information, Your Honor. I don't want to guess at things, pretty much. Mr. Moss, this was plans that were submitted at the hearing on November 19, 2022, as I believe it was
November 19th, 2022?
I believe it was November 19, 2022, Your Honor.
That would be next month.
I'm sorry, 2021. I apologize.
Thank you. Is there an exhibit number for this?
It was listed as Exhibit A when it was introduced. I
Okay.
can give it a new exhibit number if Your Honor would like. Or if Mr. Turner, if I'm incorrect, if Mr. Turner can correct me. I was going through my records, so.
That I would have to refer back to be able to verify that. I believe it's fine to give that a new exhibit number, Mr. Bennett.
We can give it a new exhibit number. Your Honor, what exhibit number would the court like for today?
Why don't we go with 79?
I believe we already have a 79.
80.
Correct, then let's go with 80.
80? Okay, very good. Mr. Moss, I'm going to scroll through, and I apologize if I go too fast. Please let me know. Are these the plans
Screen's
that
blank. All I see is you.
oh, you see? Are these plans appearing in screen share, Your Honor?
Yes, they are.
Not for me. Oh, there we go. I got him.
You got it? Okay. And please let me know if there's a problem. Okay, so the first page of the plans, it says it's for 4009 Parish Street. And it was prepared by Henry Building Services, LLC. And I'll enlarge it a bit. Dated November 5th, 2021. And I'm going to scroll slowly. And once again, the only question I'm really asking about these plans is, are these the plans that are referenced in the permit that was issued this morning?
Okay.
And then on page 4 of the exhibit, it switches over to 4011 Parish Street. Plans prepared by the same entity and the same date. Okay, and that's the entire thing. Are these the plans that are referenced in the building permit that was issued today, commercial building permit?
No, that doesn't seem like a full set you have there.
Okay.
Also, I believe that those may have been plans that were, maybe those are the building plans. It's like actually my mistake. I apologize.
Okay, so they are not the plans that were referenced in the permit, or they are the plans that are referenced in the permit?
There should be. Yeah, seems like a shorter page to me. Seems like on top of my head. I don't have them.
I'm actually I actually have the plans that are the approved plans for the permit. I'm not sure if there have been revisions to those plans in the last 11 months. I would think that there may have been, so I might have an updated version of that. So I'm happy to share with the court.
Okay, I'll end my screen share then. And if we can, Your Honor, if I'd like to have identified as Exhibit 81 the plans that are referenced in the
Certainly.
Mr. Turner can.
Would you like me to just screen share those as well, or email them to the?
I think what would be very helpful, Mr. Turner,
I'm sorry.
if I understand correctly, what Mr. Benoff is trying to link is the approved permit that was
Correct.
issued today with the plans.
Right.
And is that what you're trying to do, Mr. Benoff?
Yes, exactly, Your Honor, because
Okay, let's see what the plans were that were approved under this permit.
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now. There's 1 second. This is it. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And is that so? You guys can see. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up to the top of this. So here are the plans that I actually just pulled from the permit application, the approved permit application in Eclipse, as the marked up plans for 4009 permit.
Then I'll just ask Mr. Moss. Mr. Moss, is that correct? Are these the plans that are part of the permit that was issued today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Turner. And Mr. Turner, if you could email me a copy of those.
Yeah, I'll email those to both you and the court right now.
Okay, and then I'd like to mark that as Exhibit 81, Your Honor. I apologize.
It says 4011. 49.
This one should be the 4009, the one that's being showed currently. Should be the 4000. I'm emailing those right now.
Thank you very much. Okay, and if you can end screen share. Thank you. And then I'm just going to go back to what was marked as Exhibit 77. And Mr. Moss, at the bottom of Exhibit 77, it lists the cost of the construction as approved by the permit as $62,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Going to pull up Exhibit 78. And Mr. Moss, you had already identified Exhibit 78 previously, and I believe it was identified as a screen capture from the Eclipse system on the permit application for 4011 Parish Street. Is that accurate? Is this a screen capture from the Eclipse system?
That it is, yes.
And is this
Exactly what it is. I'm trying to scroll through this too.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll through this here, but it's definitely a screenshot from the clips. Exactly what it is.
Okay. And this is for the application for the commercial building permit CP 2022-005339. And unfortunately, I apologize. I'm scrolling a little bit fast, but under the bottom it says for 4011 Parish Street. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you testified that you had submitted the application, and as noted on here, L&I required corrections. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I want answers to some questions.
And just scrolling down, and L&I actually lists the corrections or the items to be corrected on this. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and unfortunately, these are cut off, so I can't really read the entire screen. What were the corrections that L&I required?
Questions were regarding the fire rating of the walls and the doors, mostly, is what they were concerned. Whether the doors were going to be self-closing, and they had a couple questions about the window schedule. There's two types of windows. They wanted them identified which windows would be at which locations. They wanted to know whether the doors were self-closing fire doors that were going to be installed. And they had questions about the fire rating in the walls, the 5/8 sheet rock, the 1 hour reading. Those are mostly the questions that they had.
Okay, and you testified that this was the corrected information was submitted yesterday.
Yes.
L&I? And
This morning, actually, this morning. Yeah,
this morning. Okay.
this morning.
Now, this application is also subject to plans. Is that correct?
Same plans, yes. Same plans they marked up.
Okay, but they have not been introduced to the court, correct?
They were previously introduced. Yes, they were.
Actually, just for clarification, those, I think Mr. Benoff, you're referring to the plans for 4011.
Correct.
Those plans, I received, late last night or this morning, and they from the engineer, and I believe Mr. Moss testified earlier that he received them from the engineer yesterday. Those were not previously provided, and so I didn't cover those in my questioning of Mr. Moss. However, I am already including those in the email to Mr. Benoff in the court, that along with the 4009 plans.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then that's going out in just a second here.
Okay. Okay, and I'm gonna one more screen share. I think it'll be the last one. Back at the last hearing, August 29th, Exhibit 71 was introduced, Mr. Moss, and I believe at the time you stated that these photographs were taken on August 24th, 2022. Is that correct?
Thereabouts, yes.
Okay. And this is what the property looked like on August 24th or thereabouts of 2022?
Correct.
And is this what the property still looks like today?
Pretty much just some shrubbery that's down, and the sidewalk. The city cut the sidewalk to run a line. They haven't repaired that yet either.
But no other work has been done on the building itself. Is that correct?
Not the exterior. No. Oh, well, yeah, the front. I did some more parging. I told you I did more parging since then.
Okay.
More parging, like on the sides, though. Like what you see on the lower level, I did that all the way around the sides, but not in the front. I'm waiting to put the porch there to do it in the front.
And when you parge the sides, with the entire sidewall or only a portion of the sidewall?
The majority of it up into the second floor, except for a few areas. Up to the top of the second floor, beginning of the third floor.
Okay, so
Pretty much like that, yes.
Okay, so this is the second page of Exhibit 71. So you parged up to where the wood is, or up to where the second level of windows?
Up to where the wood is. Up to where the wood is, the back of the building and the other side of 4009.
Okay. And the openings that are shown on the second page of Exhibit 71, are they still open and exposed?
No, they board it up after work. When they're in there working during the day, they open them up for light, but they close them at night. They leave there.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything else? Mr. Turner, additional questions for this witness or anything else?
If there's a cross-examination. Just Mr. Moss, just briefly, you can just put on the record and explain to the court why very little work has been done since the last hearing, or I guess if you can explain again to the court why.
Simply waiting for the permits. I could get going. I didn't want to do any work that was outside of, need to be permitted.
I understand. And so it appears that the permit for 4009 was just issued in the last 24 hours. What are your next steps for 4009?
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to close up the first and second floor with windows.
Mm-hmm.
The third floor, I'm going to do up until the property line. I'm going to do the side of the building, basically, in the back of the building. I'm not going to do the front of the building until I get the permit for 4011, so I could go all the way across the way it's connected. I'll go all the way across when I get the permit, so I can do both at the same time, because the lumber is going to go across both properties.
I understand. And so when you said you're going to close the first and second story windows for 4009, what do you mean by close?
I'm gonna install the windows. I'm gonna frame up the walls on the inside and install the windows. And I'm gonna cut the door opening in the front of the property on 4009.
I see.
This is the next steps I'm gonna proceed with, so I can install the door in the front.
And
I want to speak to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Then I'm going to speak with Trevor. I'm going to meet with Trevor over there and see if I could go ahead and construct the porch. If I could pour the footings down to the porch, and I can construct that front porch now. I got to meet with Trevor to make sure I could do that before I do that. So I'm looking to do that as soon as possible.
And for the record, and by Trevor, you're referring to your licensed engineer that you've been working with, correct?
Yes, correct. Trevor Henry, correct.
Thank you. And when do you plan to start this work, Mr. Moss?
Next week, Monday, Tuesday, I'll be on it.
Good to know. Thank you. And thank you. I have nothing further for this witness.
Anything else for this witness, Mr. Benoff?
Just one or two questions, and just to assist the witness, I'm going to call back up the photographs from Exhibit 71. So, Mr. Moss, the plan going forward, you testified regarding 4009, the first and second floor windows. When do you plan to address the third story of 4009?
4009. I'm going to do some interior framing that I can do on the sides right now, on the side of 4009. But the front, I'm going to wait until I get 4011 permits. I go across that whole face at one time. I'm going to do the side of 409 and the back of 409, part of the back. But I'm not going to touch the fascia, the painted part up top of there. I'm not going to do that until I get the permit for 4011, because I got to change those window sizes in the front of the house there. I got some framing to do that. I want to do it all simultaneously.
Okay. And I apologize. On the photograph, is 4009 to the left or to the right?
To the right.
Right. Okay. So if I recall correctly, and I don't know if these photographs show it, on 4009, the third story, there's an area that I guess this shows it here. There's a third page with just open with just studs.
That's on the side. I could address that. The whole side I'm going to address. The side of the building, I'm going to address because that's part of 4009 permit. I can get right on that.
And when is your plan to address that?
Starting next week.
Okay.
Anything else for this witness?
No, thank you. No, Your Honor. Thank you.
We'll set a 60-day date for this to return. Mr. Bogdan, we can go into early January.
Okay. I do have a spot if you want to, and we tried to.
Let's take a look. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting Tuesday, December 27th at 2:30 p.m. We were going to try to fill that yesterday with another case based on a request.
Let's see if that works.
Oh.
Tuesday, December 27th at, I'm sorry. Oh, we weren't able to do that, the Lee case. We haven't confirmed that yet.
I got a response from counsel asking for a different date.
Okay. Tuesday, December 27th.
I'm not available on the 27th of that week.
That won't work. That's fine.
I apologize. I have someone with a disability and his programs are shut down for the winter break. So
Understand. Let's look into early January. That may be a little bit more flexible.
Your Honor, I'm looking at is Monday, January 2nd. I'm looking at Monday, January 2nd at 9:30 a.m.
Monday, January 2nd.
Yes,
Once again, Your Honor, I apologize. I'm not available on that date.
all right.
Tuesday, January 3rd at 9:30 a.m.
I am available.
Mr. Turner? Mr. Moss?
I'm available on that day, Your Honor. Thank you.
Our order will follow. Counsel, we're now about 15 minutes behind for our next hearing, and it's just about the amount of time that we waited until all people were assembled. As we go forward, it's going to become even more critical as we're going back to court that everybody be on time. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
It makes it difficult for all of the other cases that are waiting to be heard.
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank
we'll return on January 3rd, 2023 at 9:30. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sarah, would you please adjourn?
Your Honor, that concludes today's proceedings.